Number 12, the GOAT, was back and showing no signs of rust in a win over the Browns, 33-13. We'll talk all about it. Look ahead to the Cincinnati game all this week on Patriots Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Game hasn't been the same.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
You boys smell that?
What's that?
Little goat poop in the air? I smell some goat
There
poop.
was a lot of goat poop around Cleveland last week. You know, they usually think that shit's on the dog pound. That was in the goat pound.
Yep, it was the goat pound.
Wow.
Man.
Holy cow. The GOAT was back in action. Number 12, Tom Brady, showing no signs of rust, like we said. Oh, what, 400 yards? What, 3 TDs?
No big deal.
No big deal.
He was dropping brown balls all over the field.
Yes,
Right?
indeed. Hey-o. What's up, Patriot Nation? Thanks for joining us for another edition of Patriots Wrap 360 alongside Jason Cherella and Kevin Finn. I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for joining us on our weekly relevance discussion on all things Patriots. Feel free to join us in said discussion by hitting these guys up on their Twitters. What are your other Twitters, guys?
At letter J Cherella, Cherella.
At Kevin F. Finn. Hit us up. Give us some questions.
You
Kevin
can also
Finn.
always hit us up in the YouTube chat room, youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV, and then just get into the Patriots show, Patriots Wrap 360, of which we are here. So obviously the GOAT was a stud to come back. I mean, what's funny was Martellus Bennett a lot of times last week was answering the question of, hey, what's it going to be to have Tom back? And he's just like, I don't know. You know, I've never played with him.
He found out.
He found out real quick.
Yeah, hat trick.
First time ever.
Yeah.
First time in his career.
I think a lot of that had to do with Gronkowski playing a lot more snaps, which allowed Bennett to have that success more so than in past games.
Definitely. And I mean, you know, he was allowed to like actually go downfield because it seemed like that hamstring was starting to heal up a little bit.
Yeah.
Much to the...
It's kind of weird how it just healed up when
Ooh.
Brady got back, huh?
Yeah, you know. it's
Okay,
funny
let's
how
roll
that
him
works.
out now. Well, no need for you to like overextend yourself with backups.
You don't think Jimmy G was rubbing it pregame?
He might have been against his will. You do what the goat says.
Oh man, it was good to see Jimmy G though in the game. He's like the human victory cigar, you know. And that it shows like maybe a confidence Belichick has in him now, because in years past he didn't let him have that chunk of time. He played like half the fourth quarter.
Oh, I know.
He also knows he's gonna, when he's battling for a trade position, he's going to be using some of those stats.
Ooh.
Get a little earlier on. Get some of
Interesting.
those,
I thought the
you know
same
what I'm saying?
thing. I thought the
You know
same
what I
thing.
mean? Give him a little more PT now that the.
Sounds
You
like
know.
somebody's come full circle on.
Well,
Trade-
he's
trade
always
Actually, I'm
said,
already right. I'm already
Yeah,
right.
he's right.
I'm actually already right. 'Cause
Okay.
we thought he was going to get traded in week 4. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Well, since that's passed, I will say, like, now I'm actually with Brissett injured. There's no way to trade him.
No. So you're not going to say I'm right. You're just going to take an alternate route.
Kevin
I
Finn, I will never see you right.
never. Well, I was just saying that he'd get traded before he comes up on his free agency. That was my thing. I just thought it was.
I
the
think
end
you
of this year.
adjusted that
No.
when you found out
Negative.
that. Yeah.
Negative.
Okay. All right.
I clarified it
Okay.
right from the get-go.
Okay.
You were about 12 BLs deep. That was the problem. All right. Not was he the only Patriot to return, but Rob Ninkovich making a return after his 4-game suspension. He
Very-
did okay.
Yeah.
I mean, made some plays out there.
Yeah, he was there. I saw him.
But
Now, you mentioned the that it was. I didn't mean to go back to this, but
Do it.
Bennett's 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
I'm guessing you saw that locker room afterwards, which was pretty awesome. Some of
Yes.
I always love watching their reactions when they come back in.
so good.
And that's a happy team. And you would think Belichick, I would have thought, might have been a little more understated. That's a win that he likes. That's a win that, you always kind of judge where they're at with those because they always have those on Pats.com.
Yeah.
And it's always great to see how he judges, where they're at, and I think he felt pretty good about that win.
You got to think he likes any time he can go back to Cleveland and get a win.
Anytime he goes back to Cleveland and shows them, it doesn't matter. The man does not forget. He's a history buff.
That's it.
So he knows exactly where he started.
The team that just discarded him. And he was about to get things rolling there too. And hey, thank you, Cleveland.
Thank you, sirs.
Thanks, Cleveland. Not so much for ousting our baseball team, but thanks for the greatest coach of all time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was during the game. There was a point where I actually started to feel bad for the Browns, like just watching this. I did, and then
I didn't share that.
And then the Indians swept the Sox, and it was like, okay,
Oof.
I don't feel bad.
Yeah, you got it.
It's over.
Oh man, couple rookies showing up. A couple guys that I thought looked really good in the preseason actually kind of got some real game action. DJ Foster got a little series there at the end of the second
Garbage
quarter.
time?
No, I think it was like the first series of the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there. It was
Malcolm Brown's looking pretty good.
2 sacks for old Malcolm.
He's looking pretty good.
He's a little bit of a beast. And the guy that really showed up, Landon Roberts.
You're talking about rookies. Yeah.
Oh, just like in defensive stars in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, got 6 tackles, assisted on another one, and this is a guy that like was kind of he really showed up for me in the preseason. I was like, oh, who is this guy? And then like hasn't really seen the field much. Apparently, he's not much of a special teamer, and but he played a little bit in this game. And he had a tackle for loss on one time in the first half. It seemed like once the game got kind of in hand, and I think Clipboard Jesus made an appearance. I think we saw a lot more of a Landon Roberts, and he kind of rested Hightower a little bit after that. But Freeney, it looks like maybe he's going to be taking a little more of that Freeney spot after this performance, because Freeney is a good special teamer. Roberts, I guess, not so much. He's allegedly not that big, not that fast.
Right.
But the dude just like makes the plays. He's around the ball. He's one of those guys, And we love those guys. I mean, there's a lot of teams stayed away from Teddy Bruschi for those same reasons.
I was just going to mention Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah. Not to say that Landon's close to the Ring of Honor just yet, but nevertheless was looking good out there. And it was just like anybody who thought there might be rust on the old GOAT, not so much. First 3 drives.
Actually, there was
touchdowns.
rust, but we just don't know what the rust on the GOAT looks like because we're just peasants.
Yeah.
Okay, in this game. So he's not comfortable yet, NFL. So just think about that. Dare to think about this is just, he mentioned in his press conference today. Today was a little bit more comfortable than last.
Week
Wednesday.
of practice, yeah.
It was today Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sorry. And each day, each Monday, last Monday was a little more. So I mean, the combinations that he has right now. I mean, he's just getting to know Bennett.
Yeah.
He's got hogs over there. I guess I picked that up in the
Hogs? Yeah.
That's what they call them.
Great game, Hogs.
That's you didn't know
Bombs.
Hogs.
that. Hogs.
I love him.
Was it Hogs?
I think it was Hogs.
Yeah, it was Hogs.
I like Hogs better, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his name isn't Hagen.
I know,
Yeah.
but I like Hogs better. Just saying. Anyways,
Hogs. It was Hogs. But
those two are going to have a connection this year, and I'm
I
excited
like
to see that.
Cheeserella better, but that's not your name.
Well, because I mean, what do? You double Gronk and Bennett? Okay, well somebody's gonna eat. Someone's gonna eat big time.
Well, you know what it is Hogan's giving me that deep threat that every time that ball goes up, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go get it. And it's Hogan.
Although I wouldn't, if he doesn't have a concussion after last week's game, I'd seriously doubt the whole concussion protocol because the first play,
smash his head on the
that's a
carpet.
hockey play. To me, that was a hockey play. That was fall back on your head, and your head snaps and hits the ice, and your lights out. And that was the play.
On the first bomb?
On the first bomb, hit on the side of his head.
Oh, I thought
Because I saw that happen at a Christmas party when you were on the ice. I did. That happened. I mean, he has a concussion. I'm not quite sure he ever recovered from that.
This kid's been on the concussion protocol for about 15 years.
Exactly. I first went in about 92, and I haven't come out since.
So totally appropriate to talk about this.
Yes, I am. And I saw it. My dad didn't see it at the time. I forget who it was. Oh, actually, it wasn't my dad. I was watching with my buddy Joe. But I said, "Oh, that's a bad hit." And he goes, "Oh, I think he hit his shoulder." I go, "No, he hit his head." And he hit it on the side, which is even worse.
Bam. Yeah.
Right on the side. And he got up, and right out of a concussion, was involved in another head play within 15 minutes, which to me is always a sign that you do have a concussion, because it's like contagious when you get it. And at that point, then he went into the protocol. So if he's out this week and is playing,
I wonder what the protocol is. I mean, he went back to the locker room. I mean, did he just like?
I'm good.
Yeah.
series of
Take in
questions,
some
follow
shit, take in some stuff,
yeah.
and head back to the field.
That's how it used to be. Because I mean, he caught a bomb in the second half too, right? He had like 2 bombs in the game.
Yeah, he was back after the protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I guess both. Well, yeah, he had the 43-yarder in the second quarter. Oh, both the bombs were in the second quarter. 43-yarder and a 63-yarder, burning Joe Hayden too, who's no slouch, an All-Pro.
And you know, one guy who hasn't really busted out yet, and I've obviously been on his bandwagon, and I'm going to call him out this week. I think Julian Edelman is going to have a huge week this week. I really do. I really, really do. I'm going to go out on a limb there again, and you guys have been saying that I've been out on a limb, saying he's going to have a good game. He's never really had one, so therefore, at this point, I am technically going out on a limb. JE11
Oh man.
is going to go off this week.
Jules had a couple drops out there.
Yeah, he's just. I don't think he's right yet. I
Yeah.
don't think he's right.
He's still a little.
Which
giddy.
is why I drafted him in all fantasy
who
leagues.
I'm ready to show up, and he showed a little light this week was James White.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I figured him to be somebody who's very active in that offense, and he showed a little bit this week. And I thought he would have been used more with some of the backups that we played earlier, just as a safety valve and a check down. But it seems that Brady uses him more than the other guys did, and I feel like you're going to start to see him used more in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, like, he looked good on a couple screen passes, and that's usually where we're, like, in that third down back role is where we're used to seeing him.
Yeah.
But start the second half, first series of the second half, you saw him a little bit as a runner, and he looked damn good.
Well, what I think one of the main things about that is going back to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo did have success, and he played really well. But one of the things that he's not going to do for at least another 10 years is be able to look off that first receiver and look into the second, third, and possibly fourth, fifth receiver. And that's what Tom Brady does, probably better than anybody in the league at this point now that the Manning's out. So there's really no argument on that. Yeah. I mean, he's going to look off. He's going to look around. That's one of the things that they were eating Brissett about. You know, they were saying Gronkowski's off and this and that, and Gronkowski's running loose, but he's the third option on the field at that point because of whatever the play call is. Tom Brady zips one into his face mask at that point. Yeah. And so I think we're going to start seeing more of that, which is exciting. That's where, it's a matchup nightmare right now. You have the smartest man in the NFL, one of the best arms in the NFL. Well, I mean, he's the greatest of all time. I'm going to keep going back to it. And the guy studies. He's smart. It's not like...
I think he's smart and he knows the system well, but does he have the best arm in the NFL? I'm not sure about that.
I mean, at this point, he's 39 years old. I mean, come on.
Well, that's what we're talking about now.
I mean, Charlie Whitehurst has one of the best arms in the NFL.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I didn't have that in my notes.
You know what I mean?
Not anymore. Yeah. He got hurt.
Oof, clipboard. Jesus, getting some props on.
Well, I'm just saying he doesn't have the best arm in the NFL, but what he does have is he has a system that he knows very, very well, and that, my friend, trumps everything. And he's a smart quarterback, and we have a double threat tight end. We have Hogan. We have Edelman. I mean, yeah, we're good.
What was great about the three, speaking of kind of what you're saying, Finn, is the three Martellus Bennett touchdowns. It didn't look like he was the primary option on any one of those. It was just like, boop, 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 okay, this is what you get.
Exactly. And you definitely weren't seeing any of that with Brissett, which is fine. I mean, the guy's in his first year, but everybody was all over, Garoppolo, loving him and all that. But I did feel like he did a little bit of staring down the receiver out of the backfield. Amazingly quick release. Incredibly quick release. Quicker than Tom Brady's.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I felt watching him, I felt like I knew where he was going with that ball. He was staring people down. Tom Brady, good luck with that. If you think you know where he's going, he wants you to think that.
Yeah. I think that a lot of that might have been coaching. Like a lot of that showed up, especially for me in the first game of the season versus Arizona with Garoppolo. And in that game, I mean, he's without his 2 starting tackles, so I wouldn't be surprised if the coaching staff was just like,
one look and you're
get
off.
it out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And also, I think it maybe speaks a lot to him too, as far as his intelligence and pre-snap reads. So he knows kind of before the ball's even snapped who's going to be open and how the defense who they're covering.
Yeah, well, that's one of the great things now with the way the coverage is. You're always hearing him calling out who the mic is.
Yeah.
And I did hear with Garoppolo, he'd be switching the mic. Tom Brady, he's 50's the mic and 50's the mic. They know it's the mic. And you'd hear with Garoppolo every once in a while, 55's the mic, and then it would be like, you'd hear some other screaming and yelling, and then it would be like, 62, 58's the mic. It's like,
What exactly does that mean? Like, 50, is that just strong side linebacker? Or was like, the dude who has the mic in his helmet? I mean,
You know what? If you knew, you'd be the quarterback of the Patriots.
Well, I mean, I think, Steve Burton probably knows he's not the quarterback of the Patriots.
Did you guys ever see that?
Tom E. Curran.
Have you seen, by the way, one of my favorite viral, to go off rudderless for a little bit, is the Steve Burton alligator attacks video. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and check it out. If you really want to see it, I can guarantee you it's on my timeline on Facebook, because I literally watched it 15 times over and cried laughing every single time, because I can do nothing but associate with the panic and fear and absolute, just basically loss of complete manhood that Steve Burton has on a television set when the alligator attacks him. He's got one in his hand. It's amazing video.
Wow. Is this an alligator's in studio or is it out in the wild?
Yeah. Oh no, it's in studio. It's a little handheld one.
I watched that.
Wow. Yeah, folks, give that a listen.
Yeah.
Give that a look.
Anyway,
But
That's awesome.
Gronk, I mean, another guy who this week,
he had that one catch. Where
he got loose in that first series.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Boom. Stiff arm.
That first
Boom.
possession.
you really wanted to get him.
And
he dove
is it
to the
me?
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like every time he catches the ball, by the time he gets tackled, his pants are hanging half-assed.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, he's a man among boys. He's literally that kid on the schoolyard.
Plumber's crack and everything, showing.
Well, they're ripping him apart. I mean, they have to. That's why he gets hurt. It's because he does not go down on the first tackle. He doesn't go down on the second tackle. There's 3 people hanging off him, and then all of a sudden, the linebacker finally makes his way back into the play and drills him in the knees.
Yeah.
And
I know. That's fun. You say knees. Like the new rules. And I mean, how many times did you see Bennett get hit this week when you were like, oof? Like, they go so low on him. And
He's
it's
a
just,
big boy.
That's
what you're coached to do.
I said, what point is this guy going to be out for the year?
Well, he got rolled up on an ankle
Yeah.
and was out for a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, ugh. But
Rub some dirt on it.
It was
Tape me up,
good.
coach.
I
got to go score 3 TDs.
yeah. And
gotta go write some
he's got
children's
more
books.
he's got more TDs to give right now, heading down. I mean, everyone's excited. Brady's back, and it's like
Brady's back.
You know,
Guess who's back?
yeah. It's I think you could see the excitement.
Now he's going back home. I mean, I listened to his press conference today, and it was almost like I wanted someone to ask him, I mean, where do you? Obviously, a guy like this has it finely tuned, but it's like you're going back home. Obviously, that stadium, the people that are in that stadium, the people that were standing by you. Everybody else was pretty much waffled on him, but the Pats fans stuck with him. You're going back in there. You're playing for them for the first time. I mean, but you got to also balance, like, I need to, like, run, scoots left, 86. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you balance that, getting fired up and enjoying that moment with, like, staying in the moment and not throwing it like over everybody's head. And he obviously has that down. But
You talking about this week's game?
this week's game,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's back, but he was back in Cleveland.
Right.
Granted, they had a lot of Pats fans there.
Unbelievable.
But coming back to New England is a whole different deal. I mean, you got people that are just, I mean, like drooling at the mouth. They are fired up. I mean, the New England fans are going to be fired up when he comes out of there. It is going to be a loud, intense atmosphere to see the man back.
I feel like the players on his
Exactly.
teammates were fired up.
You know,
They were like fans. I mean, did you see on the sideline with it was like Edelman. Edelman was like the alpha. It was like the alpha dog
he always
on
is
the bench. He was like, I'm to his right, and it was like Hogan was like, like hovering around. But every time the offense was off the field, it was like Brady sat, and then there was Edelman right next to him, and it was like.
Yeah.
If anyone tried to take that bench, Edelman would have had a situation on his hands.
Yeah. My favorite moment from the whole game was obviously when he ran over the Cleveland sideline and got the first down run and did that was great. But what I really noticed out of that moment was I saw literally they had a wide shot on that the sideline there, and you could see 4 Cleveland coaches. And they kind of
didn't know what to do.
Almost like smirks.
They didn't know what to do.
They were just like, "That's the man right there."
Well, let's talk about
happens.
that. Well, to me,
and they were just smirking, and it was just the ultimate compliment to me. They were just
that to me that first down marker there. That was a little iffy. And I say this because I was fine with it, and I was happy that he did it, and I was excited. And I was excited that he did it.
You need to go on the couch. Do we need to bring that back up again?
Oh boy.
But I think that was a result of, at that point, I do think that Cleveland was frustrated. They were taking some shots, maybe, and he was feeling that, and he was basically, that was him being like...
Well, no, he also there was potentially a late hit there.
Of course. That's what I'm saying.
So what are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. He did that that was the result of, he was getting worked up by the fact that the Browns, I feel like, were frustrated and were taking some late hits and shots at the players, that he was basically like, F you.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not, he wouldn't have done that in a normal situation.
Unless he had taken a kidney shot while he was running out of bounds into the Cleveland sideline.
It wasn't that bad.
Thanks for breaking that down for us.
That wasn't that bad, that late hit. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it was unnecessary. So
it was borderline.
He got first down.
It was borderline.
He enjoyed
but
it.
It wasn't just that. It was. I think there was a series of things going on previous to that the Browns were a little bit frustrated, and he was basically like,
keep getting frustrated. It wasn't that egregious list hit to me. It didn't really register, but I think just anytime he can run for a first down, he's just so fired up.
He did it a couple times this game.
Woo.
He did it a couple times.
I mean that was ballsy. I'm telling you, he was standing on the sidelines like this, like a sergeant, right on their sidelines of the Browns, and just like, huh, boom, and it was like
That's what you do.
It was very high. It was like the Usain Bolt.
It was less because you know what he didn't want to do is he didn't want to hit anybody in the helmet.
Yeah.
So he knew it was a tight sideline. He had to give it almost to Usain because if you point down and hit somebody's helmet, it doesn't look quite as good. He's the smoothest cat on the planet, dude. So he knows he has to arc it up a little bit. He's got hand-eye coordination. He's got 360 coordination we dream about. Okay?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
I think that might have been the most I don't know if it's showboating or taunting I think I've seen out of Tom Brady.
Do you remember when he juked Urlacher and was like,
whoa! He did this in front of the entire team on their sideline.
Yeah.
What's up? Okay,
come on. Are we really? I mean, at the point, the NFL's got to be a little fun here, boys. Come on.
Oh, I have no problem with
Joe
it.
Buck over
I mean,
I saw my dad would never like this stuff.
The no fun.
I guess. All right, fine. We don't have to talk about it.
No,
I liked it.
I do want to talk about this. This is actually a good segue. Now that you brought up No Fun League, how about Andrew Hawkins' celebration when he scored for Cleveland? Was that awesome?
The robot or something?
Yeah. It was just like put it down, turn away.
I kind of liked that. I thought he was mocking the NFL.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
That was so
I
good.
enjoyed that.
That was well done.
Hey, bring all that back. I love that, man. I mean, throw me back to Irvin Fryer doing the Pee Wee Herman. I love that.
I thought one of the best ones ever was when Randy Moss scored and mooned everybody. And I'll never forget it. Joe Buck went on a tirade. It was just like, Well, he didn't pull his pants down.
Yeah.
He pretended to. I mean, come on, guys.
You know what? I watched a Football Life with Chad Johnson, and he was, I appreciated what he was saying. He was like, football's for fun. I play, and I want people to get the most for their money, for their ticket. I want them to enjoy the show. So he would go out and entertain, and that's part of the entertainment. And I was like, you know what?
Except if it's the last 3 or 4 years of your career. But, I mean, these guys play all their lives. And there's no celebrations in flag football. There's no celebrations in Pee Wee football. There's no celebrations in high school football. There's really no celebrations in college football. When they get to the pros, I mean, come on, dude. They're getting paid for a living. This is professionals. Let them celebrate.
Yeah.
Hey.
If someone's doing a knife cut thing or whatever, and or something that is timely, that's not really appropriate, fine. But, I mean, the stuff where it's like coordinated celebration, too, it's like, I mean, one of the only reasons why I found the Cowboys acceptable growing up is because they always used to jump up, remember? And, that Cowboy, and I'll point to the, I mean, today that would be like a 25-yard penalty because it was a coordinated celebration.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't like it.
I mean, I thought one of the, they talk about T.O. when he went out to the
the star.
I mean, that stuff's, it's a little bit wrestling WWE, but it's also like, you guys, by the way, I feel like the NFL is like pretty much music executives in the late 90s pushing CDs. I mean, the concussion thing, the numbers are going down this year. It's almost too late to really save the surge of football that we had, going 2 and 3 years ago. Now it's turning a little bit, and it's like you can't fight back. I mean, Goodell has done so much to kind of mess things up the last couple of years. Let's start thinking about what we can do to keep football watchable. I mean, I know we all watch it all the time, but
What do you mean by surge 2 or 3 years ago?
I think that football, it's you're looking at youth football and lower leagues and stuff like that. It's nowhere near the attendance and the participation that it was probably more like 5 or 6 years ago. The concussion thing, the way the NFL's reacted, everything that's going on right now. The participation in football and even the numbers this year are off. And it's like everything with that is a curve. It's like you're going to try and catch up to something that was going on 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they should be concentrating more on how more of these guys don't end up as vegetables when they're retirees.
You know what I mean? No, why are you worried about what he's celebrating
it's crazy.
when a guy like Hoke clearly has a concussion? Cam Newton clearly had many concussions that opening night game that we all watched. He got beat up. That's what you're worried about? You're worried about if the guy who scores a touchdown, if he throws the ball into the stands, he gets fined. But if he hands it into the stands, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Come on,
it's terrible. The things they're worried about, it's ridiculous. Speaking of which, speaking of Monty Bennett, who you have the 3 touchdowns, it's all in the news this week of the Bennett brothers doing that segment on E60. Have you guys heard about this? Totally dogging the Bears, dogging Witten and stuff.
Well, that's been that was a while back. It was in
the off season. Yeah, but it's
right.
I think just airing today on Wednesday. So on E60.
Right, it had been out before though. I think.
Had it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody brought it up to Bill at the Bears press conference today. He's just like, I'm just, we're worried about Cincinnati and getting my team prepared for Cincinnati. We want to coach well. We want to play well. I can't be, caught up in any other comments or anything like this. He did it and this made me think that does Trump watch Belichick? His way of dodging questions, because he kind of says 2 or 3 of the same things every time, and regardless of what the question is. And I was wondering if he got that from Belichick, because it is a little bit Belichickian.
Yes.
I won't open up that can of worms.
Okay. Locker room talk.
Yeah, locker room talk.
Brady was asked about that in his press conference today. You see that? The last question, somebody was like, "Hey Tom, you have kids. How would you like it if what would you say to Trump's calling that locker room talk?" And he was just like, "Okay, end of press conference.
Yeah.
Peace. Thanks, guys." It's pretty funny. They mentioned during the telecast that Brady's been staying sharp, throwing to a Dartmouth receiver in his suspension.
Correct.
And like, who is that?
And then they left it mysterious.
Yeah,
They just
that's
left
it.
it out.
Dropped it off.
Yeah, and like that he's taking contact. That's pretty crazy.
He was
just,
taking
is
contact.
Giselle out there with like
Yeah.
pool
Yeah.
noodles?
One of those like pool noodles. Yeah, exactly. One of those blocking things. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sign him up though. That kid's getting phone calls right now.
how
After he
about
dropped
the
it.
whole Welker thing? He's like, Wes, you want to come have some dinner? And he's like, Wes comes over to have dinner. He's like, all right. Let's have you run. He's like, yeah, ZX5. You're gonna go into the straight. He's like, I was ready to have a hot dog.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, you don't eat meat. How about some avocado ice cream?
Go over, grab an asparagus off the grill,
Yeah.
and then butt hook.
Yeah,
It'll be right there for you. One of the Patriots, the only Patriots that had a bad game, Mr. Cyrus Jones,
Yeah.
the top
You know,
draft pick of the New England Patriots.
he's the only loose cannon out there on the field. I feel like it's now a couple weeks where he's gotten himself into that situation where he's undisciplined maybe, and it's you know how that goes around the Belichick.
Well, he got
like-
burnt on the first touchdown.
Yeah.
The only Browns touchdown, and then he gets ejected for
Yeah.
throwing punches. So
Yeah.
Right.
might be
But
one
I
game
mean, he didn't
on the
have
bench.
help, right? Am I right? He didn't have help on that touchdown, right?
Was he supposed to? And he did just somebody left it.
No, I think I'm not sure, but I thought I remembered on the replay that he, it was like the left side of the field didn't have help, but
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? That to me, what's worse is this discipline thing.
yeah,
Like him throwing punches.
for his long-term
and,
health.
And and quite honestly, I think he fumbled a couple punts or kickoffs in previous weeks.
Yes.
And
Previous weeks,
I don't think
he's made some sketchy calls.
So
on
the
that.
fumbles.
Matt Slater kind of fell on the sword for him.
And this and the fumbles, and this isn't the first time he got a a penalty for misconduct or what have you. And I'm wondering, and he got thrown out. When was the last time you saw a Patriot get thrown out of a game? Well, I know there's new rules this year, but still,
Right.
I mean,
Hey man,
he's in the doghouse.
Somebody's got to take him under the old wing. Devin McCourty's got to go over there and.
He's been under the wing. You got to think he's been
Yeah.
under the wing. He's just
Yeah.
he's a young
He's not
buck.
taken to the tutelage.
No,
he's
no,
He's
no,
got
no,
to
no.
wise up and know that the Patriot way is to take to the tutelage. Another guy that was signaled out by Belichick at having a good game, another rook, Woodrow Hamilton, getting much love in the post game too.
Yeah.
Number 74. So he had a few tackles out there. He looked pretty good, kind of in that defensive line mix, with Valentine kind of being on the mend.
Are we ready to move on to the Bengals?
We are.
Maybe
On to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
On to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati.
Yes.
Formidable matchup. Very formidable matchup. Team that lost a tough game in Dallas last week.
It's true.
And a good, well-coached team, as Bill Belichick pointed out today, went through one of the best special team
Is there a
coaches.
team that's not well coached according to Belichick?
No, but
I was just asking.
Not at the Wednesday presser.
No.
No.
Oh, they got a lot of talent.
yeah.
But I mean, they did win the division, decent division, 2 out of the last 3 years, like he was saying, and they are gonna be coming in kind of hungry. They're 2-3. It's like we know that mantra on to Cincinnati, and the Pats, when they had that, they were 2-2 and really hungry and put a hurting on Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got to be real hungry for a win coming in, looking to.
They're on to New England.
They're definitely on to New England.
Brandon LaFell returning.
Yeah.
Which means nothing.
I mean, it's better than Marvin Jones still being there or Mohamed Sanu,
Chad Johnson.
They let those two guys skate and then bring in old Brandon. AJ Green's still a beast, though. He's going to be
Did
seeing
not
a lot of double teams.
practice yesterday.
Did not practice today.
Today.
He's got a calf issue, but I got to think he's going to be there for the game.
Yeah, he likes to keep it pretty light during the week, I think.
I mean,
I remember that from Hard Knocks. He's a little bit of a light practice player. Extremely talented, but he does seem like he takes it a little bit on his own pace during practice.
All right. Also not participating, Tyler Eifert. I mean, the fantasy world's been,
Turned upside
hyping
down.
this guy up for a year and a half
5 years now.
It's
Seems like-
crazy. Oh, man.
Do you have him on your team?
I don't.
Okay,
I
good.
don't,
Because you're buying the hype.
Well,
Don't believe the
I mean,
hype.
he's not good enough to keep on your bench for
No,
like
he
5
shouldn't
weeks.
be on a fantasy
So
squad right
You know
now.
who's on a fantasy squad for me? Marty.
Yeah.
Oh, Marty
Yeah.
B.
He invested early and invested wisely.
That was good. I got Gronk in my other league, and so it was good to see him breaking out of it. Just like leaving casualties in his wake. I love it.
Wouldn't take him this year. A little
No.
high.
Yeah.
A little high. We hear he's going. It's a little high.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I just had to have him on one of my teams. Jeremy Hill limited to participation, so it might be a heavy dose of old Gio Bernard this week for them. For the Pats, not participating, Swiss Army Knife Brandon Bolden and Jonathan Freeney and Shaq Mason.
I mean, Freeney
Not
just
injury related on Shaq Mason, though.
Freeney just cannot stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
That's not going to spell, when old Landon Roberts is going out there leading the team in tackles, he's going
Bye-bye.
to not have a job.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they do if you're thinking AJ Green plays, right?
Yes, no question.
Of course, yeah.
And they're going to double team him all day long.
Right.
Because that's Belichick's deal. He takes away the best player.
Right.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
So they're gonna have to run.
So Brandon LaFell is going to have a big game.
right.
Yeah.
NFL we're going to have to.
You know,
He's got 2 TDs this year.
it's going to be.
He's the second best receiver.
Yeah, well, he's going to get a heavy dose of old Logan Ryan just being in his kitchen all day. So taste it.
Logan's look
Taste it.
Logan's look good. Butler on the other hand, I feel like does he not draw a lot of penalties? Is
kinda
there
almost-
something going on there?
A lot of those guys, I always kind of, those guys are involved. You know what I mean? They're involved. They're getting flags. You know what I mean? You got to kind of judge it, I think, in a mass, you know what I mean, view and see where the trends are after 3 and 4 games. Because if you get caught up in, it depends on the crew if they're going to call it a certain way. And he's always in the mix. He's up against the best receivers every game. So
If corners, defensive backs in general, take aggressive penalties, you got to kind of look past that.
yeah.
I mean, you want those guys playing on that edge. You'd rather them, take a penalty than let a bomb, go. So who knows? Might not get called. Who knows?
Okay, I'll save that. I'll tuck that one away for
Yeah.
coming weeks.
I mean, I will agree that he hasn't had the best start, I think, to the season, but I also think he's had some tough matchups, and he's been put in some tough situations. And before each season brings a new set of rules and how they're going to enforce them, and he's the top guy, and maybe he's still adjusting to how they're going to call it this year and how they're going to, what they are and aren't going to call it.
Okay, I just don't. I mean, is he the top guy? He's the top guy in New England. Is he the top guy elsewhere?
Who are you talking about? Malcolm?
Yeah.
I mean, who cares?
Doesn't matter.
just
I know.
worried
I'm
about-
just curious where we're gauging him as far as with the rest of the NFL.
You'll
you
probably
talk-
get a chance for him to see where he is next year. Although he's restricted free agent, so I actually like our chances of getting him back.
I mean, I always think the argument over an individual football player, whether the best, it's such a team sport, and yes,
It is in
Josh,
New England.
Josh, what's that?
It is in New England.
It's in all sport. Every NFL team is a team made of all 11 players. I mean, you're not going to be very successful. Yes, there's guys that show flashes, and and guys that do certain things well, but that's why I think the argument over because you can't really judge. I mean, this guy's winning, this guy's losing, but he's a great, obviously physically skilled guy, and he still has 6 interceptions, but this guy's over here, he's on a winning team and he only has 3. I mean, it's all like Belichick said today, one of the questions, well, why are you putting your strong side linebacker on the line more often than not? He's like, I mean, offense dictates defense. So if what the defensive stats are, how they're playing, who's done what is based off a lot of who they've played and what offenses they're up against.
Do you have Gronkowski shoes on right now?
I do have Gronk's shoes on right now.
Wow.
Those
Look
are
at
Gronk's
that,
shoes,
huh?
baby.
That's Gronk's
Those
got his
are
own.
Gronk's.
Got his own
Gronk
line
has
out?
his own line.
Oh Wow, that's
I'll prove it to you right now.
wow.
Wow, look at this.
I love
Gronk
this.
inside the shoe, people. All right,
Oh,
those are
show it to
Gronks.
that camera right
Yeah,
they got
he's
that.
got it.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
okay.
yeah, those are Gronks.
That's
Okay.
commitment, baby.
there. Wow.
And they're
Wow.
extremely comfortable. And I've gotten a lot of compliments from the ladies.
Well, I got Uggs, so
Nice.
okay.
Nice. I mean, I gotta up my footwear. The another guy that Brady was lauding today. You know, he spent a lot of his press conference on AJ Green and a lot of Geno Atkins on defense.
Yes.
His beast, calling him one of the most explosive players in the league. And you know, but I really like the progress that our offensive line has made. They really protected the GOAT well last week, and you know,
Dante.
Dante, the Dante
it's amazing.
effect. You know, and especially that interior offensive line seems to be really working well together. You know, Shaq and Andrews and Tooney.
It's amazing that how much can change. I mean, not a lot has changed on the line, other than bringing in Bennett to block. Not a lot has changed except the coach, and the difference we've seen
Right.
is remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's the little things. He was like Belichick again. He was preaching today. We preach technique because the guy was like, "Well, different schemes." He's like, "We preach technique and we swap out players once in a while, and the offense dictates our defense." He's like, "You're in a base offense. You're pretty much going to get this, you know." And so they practice over and over again. They practice well. He always says we had a good week because it's all about, you don't win it on Sunday necessarily. You win it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
They're just a smooth operation. Sometimes
such a great week after that.
I
Buffalo
wish I
game.
worked for a place that has that kind of operation. You know,
Once.
one.
That's a can of worms for another show.
Okay.
We got to get out of here, but is there anything you want to say before we do? Anybody you think it's Edelman obviously is going to explode this week for Kevin.
I call
big,
Tom
too.
Brady.
going
Tom Brady's gonna explode this
Yeah,
week.
is he gonna-
Expect big things from Tom Brady this
Over
week.
under 3.5 TDs for Tom Brady.
Under.
Yeah.
Under,
I
huh?
think
Over
they're going
under
to the
three.
ground. I think they might go to the ground game.
Yeah.
Beat them at their own
A
game.
lot of blunt force trauma for the
Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals this
Yep.
week. I think you might be right.
I mean, when does
might
James
be right.
White open up and just come out like we've seen him in the past?
He had some nice screen passes.
I'm not gonna
last
keep
week.
calling
I
his
think he's
name
gonna-
because every time I call it, it never happens. So
That's it. That's it. All right, gang. Well, thanks for tuning in with us, gang. This has been another edition of Patriots Wrap 360 for Jason Cherella and Kevin Finn. I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in with us, gang. Go Pats.
Go Pats.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.